Alright, welcome back to I Am Luminescent here on my channel. Welcome. This is where astrology meets intuition. Alright, let's take a look at the stars for this week. December 30th all the way until January 5th.
And I see it's gone to some astrology. Well, baby, I can see your face.
So I did do my general weekly review like I normally do, where I start out with first. But this week seems pretty short, straight to the point. It wasn't a lot that I had to actually write down now that I'm looking at it, everything that I had written. All right, so we're just going to dive into the week, starting with Moon Day on December 30th, the new moon, the black moon, Capricorn, 9 degrees, around 5:45 p.m. Eastern time. That should be taking place. So the black moon is really just the second new moon of the month. When there's a second full moon, we have a blue moon. So the second new moon is a black moon. I did make a list already. I made a post about this not that long ago regarding the black moon in Capricorn, but basically this is like a double whammy of energy where we have a new beginning, and Capricorn energy is all about ambition, being direct, attacking your goals, being methodical, being organized, being efficient, and achieving those desires that you do actually have in the material world. But Capricorn season also is a time where we kind of allow ourselves to look beyond the physical and material plane, the 3D realm. Saturn Capricorn does rule over the 3D, and sometimes people get stuck in thinking that what we see physically is all there is and become too attached to things. And this is a time where we need to shed that attachment. Okay, Aquarius season is really, the time where we do the detaching. The Capricorn season is where we gain the awareness that we are in human form, but we mostly want to pay attention to the fact that we are goddesses in flesh suits. So you can actually continue to remember that you have the ultimate power of the universe backing you in everything that you do, for the good or for the bad. So when you have those, attachment to the material or the earthly plane, it can cause you to kind of limit your vision. And sometimes we have to give reminders throughout the season that there's more to what meets the eye. We have to remember to continue to elevate our vision. Okay, Jupiter in Sagittarius season allowed us to expand in our awareness of who we are, and then Capricorn is like, okay, now that I have, a goddess's view of myself, now I can use this energy. Capricorn is IU, so we use this energy in our flesh suits to execute the things that we need to do. So and the full moon is going to be for another 2 weeks. So I think on the 14th, January 14th or 15th. So we do got 2 weeks to see the fulfillment of whatever seeds we're sowing during this new moon experience. All right, so the 9 degree is a Virgo hermit degree, right? Wait, 9. No, I take that back. That's Sagittarius, right? Yes, that's the Sagittarius degree. So, and 9s are about endings, wisdom, okay? And this is because we've gone through the 0 to 8, so we have, that full spectrum of things. So this new moon, we're really like ready to carve a name for ourselves in the trees, in the cement, so to speak. We're ready to take action on the things that we really want to do. So Mars in the North Node are going to trine in a fire sign. They're within a 1 degree orb. So again, this is that fire energy pushing us to create, to be confident in what we do. Even though Mars is retrograding back into Cancer soon, it's going to go through another peak on the 3rd with the opposition to Pluto and Aqua. Okay, Saturn and Jupiter retrograde are separating from the square that we had to endure last week, which was very challenging, because it's like you see these opportunities for growth, right? With the Jupiter retrograde, you see these opportunities for growth, you're learning new things, but Saturn is direct and is still asking you to stay focused and continue to cut your losses. And sometimes those losses is like something you just learned, and then now you have to let it go. So with the square to with Mercury being 12th house to the sun, and a trine with Chiron, which is stationing direct, now that we've internalized all that pain and healing that had to take place during that time, we can start exerting that energy outward with the Aries energy. And it's trine over to Mercury in Sagittarius, which is also stationed direct, 12th house to the sun. It's like we get to kind of recalibrate our minds to, again, be in alignment with this Capricorn energy, which is about execution, getting things handled and getting things done despite any, setbacks that the Saturn Jupiter square has presented to us. And then this Pluto Mars opposition as well. Again, it's an opposition, so it's all about balancing. Okay, how are we balancing our ability to be social and be part of a group and stand for what's right for humanity, as well as still be an individual who takes care of themselves, who is able to stay in tune with their own heart and emotions without getting lost in the group think. Okay, that's the balance that has to take place. With the moon sextiling Saturn Pisces, it's going to also in conjunct Jupiter and retrograde Gemini. So again, this is an opportunity with this earthy, and then Saturn's ruler is in Pisces. Capricorn's ruler, Saturn, is in Pisces right now. So the moon depositing that energy into Saturn with Pisces, which Neptune at home in Pisces, its ruler. This definitely gives us an opportunity to cement and start cementing those ideas that we want to start to work. What plans do we have for the next 12 months from this point forward? And it's not so much because it's a new year, it's just that's what Capricorn does. It's a sign about longevity. It's a sign that or energy that represents long-term success, doing things like the greatest of all time, like the GOATs, literally. So we get an opportunity to really review what executions do we want to take over the next 12 months that can set us up for something for the following 12 months or the following 5 years or the following 10 to 20, 30 years. And the in conjunction is the Gemini is all about learning and taking in new information regardless, and that has to do with how we identify ourselves. So if we are identifying ourselves as someone who square with the Capricorn energy, that we are able to handle things that we haven't done before, the irritation that comes in is where we have to learn a lot of new things, or we have to still go through certain processes that we haven't even touched yet, let alone being able to actually plan it out. So that could be a cause of a lot of irritation, but it's nothing that's really too bad with an in conjunction. Just don't let the stress of not knowing how things are going to turn out get to you. All right, so Mars Day, Tuesday on the 31st, this is New Year's Eve. Mars Leo ruling. We have the moon that's going to square Chiron, stationed direct, as well as Lilith, which is going to be a T-square in Cancer, is the only sign that's not here. So we got Capricorn, Aries, and Libra creating this T-square, a cardinal square. The moon squaring Chiron. Again, the Capricorn and Aries is about, that square of knowing yourself, but also knowing, your limits and being okay with some restriction or limitation, because that's what's going to help you get ahead versus looking at limitation and restrictions as a negative or a bad thing, and then with the square to the Lilith and Libra, it's like using that as a leverage in a certain situation can actually be beneficial to you rather than forcing you to feel like you're stunted or you can't be true to yourself or you can't be independent in some sort of way. You can actually maneuver this energy in a way where you tap into your intuition more than trying to strategize or out strategize another opponent. Just be intuitive and just go with the flow of things. Don't be so quick to try to fight or start things in other places. Just use your intuition to guide you through the squares here, because you know Aries of course is an initiation sign, but it wants to get the spark going. Libra wants to initiate things being fair. Capricorn wants to initiate being the executive decision maker and making sure things are organized. You can have all these things work together even though it creates tension. You can have them still all work together, and the Cancer being out means that your emotions are gonna have to be in control. You're gonna have to use your intuitive guidance to assist you, not work off emotions, okay? Be methodical. With the moon trining over to Uranus in Taurus at 23 degrees, then it's gonna make a sextile to Neptune and Pisces. So again, we're already setting ourselves up to think about what we're gonna do in the years to come, the months to come, and how we're setting ourselves up for success. This Uranus Taurus transit with the trine, the Earth trine, again, is helping us to solidify with that Earth energy, making it more practical, okay? When we are able to get through these squares of maybe having some type of roadblock or some type of no means next opportunity, Uranus comes in with the ideas to help us practicalize the goals or the executions we want to take over the next year. And then we use that Neptune energy, that sextile energy, to allow us to become one with that idea that we're manifesting at this time for, you know, the next several years to come, okay? And then we move into, you know, Mercury Day, Woden's Day, which is Wednesday, which is New Year's Day. Shout out to my daddy, it's his birthday. Okay, shout out to the Capricorn. All right, so with Wednesday, the moon is going to, by 6 a.m., the moon is going to enter Aquarius, and it's going to conjunct Pluto and oppose Mars. Mercury is going to sextile with Lilith and Libra. So here we have the opportunity, of course, with the moon conjunct Pluto. This is an upgrade in the frequency. I always feel it every single time this has happened. It's like the electricity is higher. I wouldn't be surprised if the Earth frequency actually increased at this time as well. With the moon and Pluto conjuncting and opposing Mars, this puts a lot of pressure on Mars to feel like it has to perform, it has to show up. And we can feel this way about things that we're creating in our lives. Like we have to. So there could be a lot of pressure on wherever we have Mars in Leo to perform, or we got a lot of pressure to, you know, the Leo energy is very much about, yes, creativity, but it has to come from somewhere deep inside us that's authentic and true. You know, the opposition is Aquarius, so it has to be authentic, it has to be true, it has to be something we know. And there could be a lot of things that we're starting to realize about ourselves that could be in direct conflict with us taking action on the things that are really flowers being, you know, blooming from our heart space, which is why we're still, you know, going through this phase of backing it up into Cancer, because we need to reevaluate our emotional centers, our heart chakra healing, okay? With the Mercury sextile with Lilith, both of these energies have to do with legalities and relationships with one-on-one as well as with the whole world. So there could definitely be some legal cases that may be popping up a little bit more often where things were not really settled. Maybe we got the details, but now we're going to get to, you know, more like the progress of what's happened in the last couple of months since Mercury has went retrograde and direct again. We could definitely have this happen in our own personal lives, but I definitely see that sextile with the Aquarius energy is like there's a lot of information dropping about someone or something specifically that has to do with legalities, maybe politics as well. All right, Thursday, we're going into January 2nd. Venus is going to be at 29 degree Aquarius. Okay, that's the mastered degree here before we go into the 30, which turns into Pisces, 0 degree. So Venus at 29 degree Aquarius, this is like with the sun in conjunct Jupiter retrograde at 13 degrees, because the sun is still in Capricorn. Again, just like that moon transit we had with the in conjunction, it's like with the moon, we were able to intuitively feel, you know, where we may have some gaps in communication or some gaps in our learning. With the sun being the in conjunction, it's like we're going to be fully aware. We're going to see it. We're going to be fully aware, and other people may also be aware at this time. Whereas the moon, it may just be like a hidden thing that you could know and check for yourself. But Thursday, it's going to be like, okay, you really do have, like, other people can see this too. And with Venus being 29 degree Aquarius, with 29 being like a mastered degree, it breaks down to an 11 master number. So this is like you have the ability, you have the knowledge to reassure yourself, and you'll see that reflected back in the groups that you attract into your life. Venus is about attraction, magnetism, just like Leo energy is magnetism. But it's like with the moon being second house to the sun, which is a Venus house, this allows us to draw on the material world a little bit more. Okay, we can draw on the power of the material world to facilitate what we know to be true. With Aquarius and Gemini being air sign, this is our thoughts, this is the way we communicate, this is how we translate information, right? And then we have the earthiness of the sun, that is us seeing things in the 3D or in a fleshly way. But we know that, you know, our emotions, the moon has a lot to do with what we manifest and how we manifest in the 3D. So if we're manifesting from a higher perspective of knowledge of self, then we will not feel so, Venus in Aquarius at 29 degrees, we will not feel so, you know, controlled by other people, because we've already mastered knowing ourselves when it comes to attracting what we want, that it won't have a big influence like what other people think, what the audience agrees or disagrees with when it comes to how we maneuver moving forward. And the moon will trine over to Lilith and back up that energy as well. And with the moon being second house to the sun, this can definitely help us in our finances and our feelings of abundance, what we choose to feel that is actually going to compound on how we see ourselves being this executive officer of our lives and our livelihood, and how we're going to, you know, be a living legend of our group or our family. Like, this is the time of year, like the new moon is starting out with us making decisions that's going to set us up for our future. And being an individual and true to self is what's going to help, you know, compound the interest that comes along with that. And that's for the good and for the bad. But speaking from a positive place, with the moon going also trine over to Jupiter retrograde, we have a great day on Thursday to connect and communicate with people from the most authentic parts of ourselves and find new friendships, find new groups that we can link up with, find people who are mentally, you know, attractive or, you know, on the same vibration frequency as we are, to help us build the vision that we see here in the 3D realm. And the sextile with Chiron and Mercury, this is us taking that intuitive action, that unique action, that communication with 22 degrees Sagittarius, that's literally going to force us to want to go the different distance. That's that 8 of Wands, you know, wanting to move things quickly, like get things done. Okay, even though Mars is retrograde in Leo, opposing Pluto. Okay, you're going to realize there are certain actions you can no longer take because it doesn't align with your heart space anymore. We're coming from a more logical, methodical, authentic space right now. Okay, the emotions may have to take a bit of a back burner, especially when it's a Saturn ruled moon like Capricorn and Aquarius. But we do progress into Pisces on Friday, Freya's day, Venus day, on January 3rd. Okay, so Venus then moves into its exaltation Pisces, and we are going to have a retrograde back into Pisces as well. So please pay very much attention to how this Venus transit treats you on its way into Aries. Okay, so Venus exaltation Pisces, this is Venus being almost blinded in love. Okay, she has so much compassion and forgiveness. It's easy to remove the boundaries that Venus and Virgo may place and kind of almost restrict itself from going after the things it desires because it has a checklist that Pisces says, Virgo, you don't need this checklist, just love. Okay, just give of yourself, just be free to love, be compassionate, be forgiving. Okay, have those, you know, fantasies, those dreams just be beautiful and fulfilling for you, so much so that we can get to the point where, especially with the moon being here as well, because they're going to conjunct, the moon and Venus are going to conjunct in Pisces, which is a big thing happening on Friday, Venus's day. So be careful with the spending. Don't overspend on Friday. Don't overdo it on Friday. Okay, it can be very easy to do it because it's like, why not? Like, let's just go for it. Let's just for the plot of it. Just, you know, it could be very much that. There could be a lot of displays of affection happening on this day as Pisces rule visuals, music, you know, those things that kind of elicits deep emotions out of us, that kind of make us creative. And it's giving very much 12th house synastry. Like, please be careful. Please be careful, okay? All right, because the stellium is going to be in Pisces, where the North Node is heading within the next week on January 12th, okay? So be wise. The flesh is weak right now with the sun in Capricorn. Don't fall into too much deep temptation. Be careful with the alcohol. Be careful with the smoking. Like, manage that shit so you stay focused. All this Pisces is helping us to kind of loosen up and just allow things to happen. You know, especially with all this earth energy that we've been having. It's to help us kind of like relax and we all become one. I can also see that with the stellium, this Pisces stellium, is everyone getting on one accord and agreeing with something that maybe a lot of people didn't see ever happening in our lifetime. But there's going to be a overstanding agreement on something when it comes to how, especially with the Sun and Saturn sextiling, it's like how we should do boundaries, how we should do relationships. They're going to start being themes of oneness that we're going to start to see before the North Node hit. And Pisces is that sign that is all about the okay. So yeah, Pisces reminds us that we're all connected, we're all one. Any boundaries we do have, like our flesh, are just illusions. Everything is still vibrating and in motion and constantly moving, which is why the life is constantly changing. Pisces is the end and the beginning. Okay, and we're going to be reminded of that as we move forward. Now, some people can, you know, respectfully have their belief system, especially when it comes to their spirituality, and allow things to grow and prosper. And then we have the shadow side, because Pisces got that two fish, okay? We have the light fish and the dark fish. The dark side of the fish is that everything can get dirty, things can get grunky, things can be very deceitful, and there could be criminal activity where people are so blinded by love and compassion or forgiveness, that they fall into the temptation of being robbed of some form of their abundance, whether it is emotional, mental, material, energetic, time. Okay, the sun is in Capricorn. Time is of the essence. It's the biggest currency we all have. Don't allow someone to usurp your time from you and then you just wondering what happened.
Exactly.
Okay, so Venus and Mars are going to in conjunct, as Mars is 0 Leo and Venus is 0 Pisces. So Pisces is 8th house to Leo and Leo is 6th house to Pisces. Okay, Pisces is 8th house to Leo. Leo is 6th house to Pisces. So with these two, yeah, Venus is in Leo's 8th house. So this is going to kind of bring down the walls or the barriers when it comes to desiring that glue of intimacy that partnerships bring. Okay, the 8th house has to do with your partner's money, your partner's energy, intimacy. That's the transformation and rebirth process of being with another person, or also hidden information coming to light in regards to whatever it is that you're attracted into your life. You may be able to see that a bit more, and it can be very elusive if you're not paying attention to your human design, like where you feel the yeses and the nos in your body. Very important that you pay attention to that. With Mars being in Pisces 6th house, this is a good placement. Actually, having Mars in the 6th house is actually a good placement because Mars wants to take action on things, right? So if we're taking action on the things that inspire us, that lift us up, that come from the heart, it gives Pisces the ability to take action towards things that are healthier for them, especially in regards to the heart space. And with the North Node on its way here in Pisces' 1st house of identity and self, it kind of prepares you to kind of move into that aligned state where you're only focused on doing things that are, yes, different, because the North Node does come with a bit of nervousness because you haven't done these things before. However, Mars is going to give you a little bit of push to say, hey, reevaluate why you didn't do the things that you truly wanted to do, and it may cause you to want to do it even more, even though it may be a nervous wreck because you haven't done it before. But just trust yourself, okay? It's trust spirit, not social media, okay? Saturday, January 4th, we'll have the Pisces moon and Saturn conjuncting around noon Eastern. So the sun and Saturn are in the sextile still and separating at 14 degrees. Mercury is in conjunct Uranus at 23 degrees with Pluto and Mars still opposing. Because it's peaked on the 3rd, that opposition with Mars at 0 peaks with Pluto. So the sun and Saturn sextile, again, this is an opportunity for us with the Taurus degree to take things one step at a time, continue to move forward. With the in conjunction again with Mercury and Uranus is that some new ideas will put us outside of our comfort zone. However, with Sagittarius and Taurus, sometimes they do clash because Taurus is a bit stubborn and Sagittarius is a kind of flighty, okay? But you need both in this regard in order to continue to move things forward. You want to be able to go ahead and take action and allow your spirit to agree with the things that are actually aligned, as well as take it one step at a time, and that's where the irritation comes, okay? And then the balancing out with the Pluto Mars is us ridding ourselves of any energy wasters, because Mars is like a battery of energy. It is like a battery. Now, moving into Sunday, the moon will shift into Aries, and will okay, hold on. The moon is going to shift into Aries. First, it's going to, early in the middle of the night on Eastern time, it's going to in conjunct Lilith and Libra, as well as sextile Uranus square over to Sagittarius. And conjunct Neptune. And then it's going to sextile Pluto. Okay. So the moon in Pisces in conjunct Libra, Lilith. Okay. So yeah. And then it's going to sextile Uranus and square. It's like boom, 21, 23, 24, and then 27 degrees, all closing out this moon in Pisces cycle. So again, this is the irritation of being true to oneself. This is the opportunity to create something new with our immediate needs that needs to be met, while we are challenging or being challenged by the outside world to communicate exactly what it is that we want to see happen in our lives, regardless of what other people believe or what we can physically see with our own eyes. And then the moon conjunct Neptune gives us that ability to be in a meditative space and just see our desired experience like lived out through our imagination process. And you want to utilize on Saturn Sunday that ability to tap into your imagination station, because that's how we communicate with the universe. The imagination is how we communicate with the universe emotionally as well as visually, how we want our lives to be and what type of progress we need to be making. So when we're tapped in, we're imagining things, we putting ourselves in a situation as if we are receiving it. After we have received it, what happens? We are living out that in our daydream state or in our dream state, where we're forcing ourselves to feel the emotions as if it's happening right now. That's how we bring things in. That's how we do the manifestation. And then we allow ourselves to detach and let it go. Moon goes into Aries, is going to sextile Pluto, conjunct the North Node, trine Mars 0 degree, while Mercury is starting its square to Neptune. Okay, so with Pluto, this is a restoration and a purification, conjunct the North Node. We're setting ourselves on what we feel we are destined to be according to how we identify ourselves. And the trine over to Mars, retrograde 0, is us again avoid repeating the embarrassing situations that the moon memories is going to trigger or bring up, especially with the moving with the North Node, where we have to do things we have not done before. And there could be an embarrassment with wanting to try new things and doing that in the past. And the moon remembers. Moon is the memory, it is water. We have these memories where we're tapping into something, doing something new, and then it doesn't go over the way that we would like to. So it's kind of like, should we do this again? Should I start this new thing? Because the last time I started something new, this is what took place. Like, allow yourself to do that, okay? Mercury squaring the Neptune starting is going to kind of like jumble up our mental space a little bit with the Sag square Pisces, which is our faith squaring the belief systems, okay? And they have to do, and Sagittarius and both Pisces are out of our worldly experiences. Well, Sagittarius is more worldly, Pisces is more like the entire universe encaps, like the one, the all, okay? So even though we have a faith system set up in ourselves that we can do this, or maybe we can't feel like we do this, the one all is going to give you exactly whatever your faith system is set up to be. It's going to give you more of that. And if you're unsure and you're on the fence about how you choose to place faith into yourself or whatever it is that you're working on, and the universe expands in that by sending you all these things that you are putting out into the world, it can get kind of frustrating, because the frustration can come from the positive aspects of, well, this is what I wanted, but you know, am I truly ready? Like, it came to me and I'm aligned to it, but I'm nervous. Okay, the shadow side of it is, you know, the negative thought process of, you know, I'm not ready, I don't want this, and then you receiving a heavy weight of frustration because you told, you know, the one all of the universe that you're not ready, or you don't feel like this is good enough, or something like that. And then it presents you with another problem that, you know, coincides with the fact that you don't believe in yourself. And then you're mad at the universe, or you're mad at something or somebody for giving you that treatment that you projected onto your higher consciousness that you're connected to. So with the Mercury square Neptune, it is going to force us to start being a bit more responsible. If you're not aware, you're going to start being more responsible for how you say and how you think about things, and you're going to start maneuvering yourself around worlds, which is individual universes. We all are our own individual universe. You're going to start maneuvering through worlds and universes according to your faith and how you believe things come into your existence, and move away from those that are a direct conflict, because you don't want to attach yourself to their belief systems that are not helping you on your journey. And it doesn't have to be beef or a bad thing. It's just, you know, there's a difference in how you guys see things. It doesn't mean you're good, that person is bad. It's none of those things. It just is what it is. But the universe, which is you projecting you guys' own imaginations outward into the matrix, is going to create situations that's going to repel you from each other. Okay, so I think that's just about it. The biggest thing besides this Pisces stellium is the separation of the Saturn and Jupiter square. Venus moving into Pisces. And then we're getting ready for the shift of the nodes, Mercury square Neptune. All right. If this message or this video resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to thumbs up, like this video, subscribe to the channel before you go, and share this video with someone who you know will enjoy it. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to I Am Luminescent. Again, the universe is always guiding you. So stay radiant, stay aligned, and see you next time. Peace.